Welcome back. It's Catherine with SafeTechie.com, and we're continuing to talk about protecting individual devices that leave our home. So when you have the router, like in the previous step, that protects anything that's in your home. But in the case of, in this situation, laptops, when they leave your home, they're not going to be protected by the clean router anymore. So how do you protect the laptops? Well, you actually have two different options with laptops that I would recommend. The first is Qustodio, and the second is MobiSip. And MobiSip would be an option for if you're just looking for one solution for all of your mobile devices. So in the next step, we're going to set up your tablets and your phones, like Androids and Apple, and MobiSip is a solution that we'll set up. And so if you're just like, I just want one solution to cover everything that leaves my home, then use MobiSip for your laptop. But I actually think Qustodio is a better program. You get more options with it. You can set different levels of settings. You get better information back. So your actual little portal, the website that you go to that tells you what sites have been visited, gives you a little bit more information. So that's what I'm going to go through in this step setting up. I think it's a better product. But like I said, if you're looking for just one solution for anything that leaves your home, then set up MobiSip on the laptop. So for starters, I'm just going to walk you through installing Qustodio. So go to the computer, the laptop that you want Qustodio installed on, and go to www.qustodio.com, and it's spelled on the screen. And you're going to see a little section down below. It says fill out your name, email address, and create a password. So we're going to go ahead and create an account. So type that in there and then hit get started. Once you've entered that information and hit get started, you're going to see a screen similar to this. And if you scroll down, then you'll see where it says add my first user. So go ahead and click that button and it will pop up this screen, and we're going to add a user. So it's going to be free to have one child on the account. If you need more, then you could have, maybe one child account that you just use for all your children. But if you have more than 2 kids and you're going to need multiple devices, you'll probably have to pay for a premium account. It's about $45 a year. There's discounts all the time, and it's completely worth it. So here you're just going to add the new kid account. And like I said, it will be free for that first child and the first device that you have. So enter the child's name, the birth year, their gender, and so forth. And then once that's entered and you hit save, it'll pop up to get ready to actually install it. So hit protect this device, meaning you're going to protect the device that you're actually on right now. And it will start to download. If it doesn't download, hit restart the download. So then go to your downloads, depending on if you're in Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer. The downloads will appear a little bit differently, but open up the download and run that Qustodio installer. And it will pop up this screen here, and we're just going to install the program. So hit accept and install. Let it go ahead and download. This might take a few minutes. And then eventually hit OK. So once you've installed Qustodio, you're either going to create an account, which you don't have to because a second ago we already created an account. So say I already have a Qustodio account, and then enter in that email and password that you just entered a few slides back. And then now you're just going to name the device. And so if this is a family laptop, maybe it's like an Apple laptop, just say Apple laptop, right? This is just the name of the actual computer that you're using so that you can identify it in your account. You also have the option here. It says hide Qustodio on this device. I don't really recommend this. I would instead recommend just having communication with your kids. Let them know that you're trying to help them with accountability, but you do have the option of clicking that, and then it won't show Qustodio under your programs, and so the child won't know that it's installed on the computer. And then when you hit next, it will let you actually tie an account to your child. And so what that means, let's say you have an Apple or a Microsoft computer. When you first turn on your computer, sometimes it pops up, you'll have an account that you click on, right? So you log in, you hit your account, and you put in your password. So you can actually tie one particular account to the child, and then you can have another account tied to another child. And so you're going to hit that drop down and select your child's account. If you don't see it or they don't have an account, just click add new. and then it will allow you to create an account for that computer. So it actually just name the account, so you could name your child's name, put in a password for them so they would know this password. This is the password that they actually log on to their computer with. And then hit save, and it will allow you now to select that child's account. So you might have, okay, this is little Timmy, and it's tied to Timmy, the account Timmy on this computer. So select that from the drop down and then hit next. After you hit next, you'll see a series of different pop-ups that will give you information about Qustodio, like the premium account, make sure that you know when something's active and so forth, so you can hit next through those. And then eventually it will say go to the family portal. So go ahead and click that, and let's actually look at the family portal for Qustodio. So when you log in, you'll see it says your account hasn't been verified yet. So go to your email that you registered with and just click on, you should see an email from Qustodio. Click a link so that you can verify the account. And then you can come back to Qustodio and view your account. Okay, so once you have Qustodio installed on your child's computer, you don't have to go to that computer anymore. You just go to Qustodio.com. So let's go there now. And when you go to Qustodio for the first time, this is when you can set up the different settings for what type of blocking and filtering that you want to have. So if you want it to be really strict or not. But in the future, you can also come here, you go to Qustodio.com, you can go on there from any device and you can view what websites your child has visited. So go ahead and go to Login, Qustodio for Families, and then log in with your email and password for the account you created before. And once you're in, it'll look something similar to this, where at first glance, it will show you just a timeline of how much your child has used their device. And I really like how they set this up where they'll show you kind of a snapshot of all the activity that they're doing. So give you an idea of how much time they're spending on specific applications or online. And then also, I like how they pinpoint questionable activity. So if you click that, you can see that this YouTube was flagged, and that's just based on the settings that I have. So any types of inappropriate websites that they may have visited will automatically be flagged here. So if you go back to all activity and just scroll down, again, this is just kind of an overview glance of all the different types of websites and applications that are being used. And so these are the top hits, how much time, this is an order of how many minutes was spent on all of these websites. All right, so if you scroll to the top, you'll see where up here it says premium trial. So for the first, I think I would say 3 to 5 days, you'll have a premium trial to test it out. And I'll show you what you get with the premium. But if you're just having one child, or you just want your children to share a profile, so you don't necessarily need to know each individual child, especially, or if you just have 2 devices, you can go up to 2 devices with the free account. The free account works great. It'll still show you how much time they spend on all the different applications or different websites. You'll still be able to see the web activity, which I'll show you in a second. You'll still have all the rules that you can set for strictness and different categories and so forth. You just won't have things like social activity. So let's go through these tabs here. With social activity, like I said, this is something specific to having a premium account. So after the 3 days, you will have to pay for this. And this is a personal preference, but this will allow you to link to a Facebook account. So if your child has a Facebook account, you can actually see the activities that they're doing on their Facebook account. If you go to web activity, this gives you a little bit more information on the sites that are visited. So for example, let's say I go here and I was on safetechie.com, I can scroll down and I can see the specific websites that were visited. Now, some of it may look a little bit technical, but it's just showing you the exact website that was visited. So in this case, I visited all sorts of different pages on the safetechie.com website. So you can scroll down here and see all the major sites that were visited. And let's say, okay, so I want to look at Google. If I scroll down now, I can actually see a specific Google search that I did, right? So I looked up free stock photos, which I spelled incorrectly. But My point being, you can actually see the different searches that took place, the specific websites, and what's nice, if you're not sure, like, I don't know if something was inappropriate or not. Let's say I went to Save Techie and I scroll back down. I can see, okay, this is all the sites that were visited. Well, go ahead and click on that website and it will open it up for you. And so that allows you to know right off, okay, what was that website? Was it inappropriate or not? So let's go back here to Qustodio, scroll all the way up. And then lastly, this activity timeline. So web activity shows you the specific, it's specific to the internet, right? So what websites did they go to? And then what were the individual pages that were visited? Activity timeline shows you just like it sounds, right? It's just for today, at all the different times of the day, what were they doing on their computer? So it could be websites, it could be applications. This is an application that I was running, Microsoft Word. This is right, and it will tell you what device was used to do it. And again, it will still flag you. So red means, in this case, because of the settings I have, YouTube was flagged, and so it shows this. And then I can also load more details and get a little bit more information on what actually took place. So in this case, I watched a YouTube video about a desktop background, right? So it shows you the specific, it can show you some more information if you clicked load details. The other nice thing here is right from here, if you just tip this down arrow, you can actually also do all these other settings. So you can block this website straight from this site. You can allow the website if it was already blocked and so forth. So there's all sorts of settings that you can do as well. Now let's scroll all the way back up again. Here along this is if you wanted to sort out on the timeline a specific type of activity. So I just want to see, okay, what was questionable? Or what time of day was it? Okay, now I can go to web activity, and this will do that same thing, but just show me the websites that were visited. So it's the same information that's on this web activity tab. It's just showing it in a different way. Same thing with applications. So this activity, the questionable activity, the web, the applications all come with a free version. The calls and SMS is a premium function. So you can also, kind of similar to the Facebook with the social activity, you can tie your child's telephone to your Qustodio account. And that makes it so you can track what types of phone calls they're having, text messages. That's a personal preference as well if you want to do that. It also does location updates. Like I said, I kind of recommend, at least initially, just trying the free services and seeing if that meets your needs. Let's go to rules. And over here is where you actually set the filtering and the strictness level for your child. And so the website categories, I think Qustodio does a great job of giving you a lot of options for what type of websites you want to block. So right now, any websites that are red, I'm blocking. You can scroll up and you can make website exceptions. So you can type in a specific website that you will allow, or you can say a specific website that you're going to block. Alert is going to send you an email if they go to that website. So it's going to allow them. It's just going to alert you. Now, if you scroll back up, kind of similar to those other tabs that you saw under the activity timeline, with the rules, you can go through all of these different types of rules, and you can just keep, they have really good, this is by default, and you can just keep the default. You don't have to make all these different changes. It's just if you're interested, you can go through and say, okay, I want to make some more changes. So if you click on time usage limits, you can set a schedule for them. Now, again, these over here, the time usage, the social, the calls and SMS, these are all premium functions. So play around with them for a few days, and then when they go away, see what the free functions are like, and then you can decide if you actually want to have that or if you're good with just the free functionality. Another thing that I do like about the premium, if you wanted to get premium, it has a panic button. So for older children, you could also enable this panic button where they'll have an app on their phone that they can push a button and it will alert you if they're in trouble. It's kind of a nice feature. There are apps that do that as well, other independent apps, but it is a nice feature that Qustodio has. I'll scroll all the way to the top. So those are the key things with Qustodio. Once you set up your settings in this rules, you don't have to really change anything after that. You would just, when you come into your account, either look at the web activity or the activity timeline or the activity summary. And that will give you information on what your child's actually doing. And again, you just kind of want to look for these questionable activities. If there's any red bubbles, that means there might be something going on. But that's it for Qustodio. So let's move forward to our next video and learn about mobile devices.